What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Go Talk with Marcus, powered by Podex, fueled by Goat Fuel. This is episode 70 of season 2, episode 203 overall. And I had to bring on a fan favorite. It's the G to the U to the R to the U, the Guru. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yes, sir, man. You just gotta. It must be the oldies episode, man. You know you gotta bring the old man out here, man. All the young boys must be sweet. They're like, let me get the old heads, man, to kill some time real quick, man. What it do as always, man. It's a pleasure, man. Hey, you always talk about powered by goat juice or goat milk or whatever. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to drink some goat juice.
Hey, Goat Fuel is good. It's energy drink. Created by Dre Rice. It's really good. It is really good. Yeah, it's an energy drink. They have 8 great flavors. It's fantastic. You all should go buy you some because it's good.
I like goats, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I like the views.
It's good. Look, I mean, listen. We all know that Guru is probably the craziest person that I know, and we had a pretty crazy week too. So it all just kind of works out that we get crazy fella to kind of come on the show and talk about the craziness that was week 2. Let's start off with, I think, probably the biggest story out of week 2, which was Trey Lance suffering a season-ending ankle injury in their game against the Seahawks. Jimmy G steps in. They get the job done 27-7. So Jimmy G's back starting. This is kind of a long, drawn-out process. It was a question of whether or not Jimmy G was going to be traded or not. Obviously, he's here to stay. Dak went down in week 1. A lot of people thought maybe Jimmy G get traded to Dallas, but no. 1 week later, he's locked in San Francisco. What does this mean for the 49ers moving forward? Because this is a team that under Jimmy G before this season, 2 NFC Championship appearances in the last 3 years, a Super Bowl appearance. They had a lot of success under Jimmy G in the 3 years that he was there. What does this mean for the 49ers moving forward as it pertains to how successful they can be this season?
This is what I always say, man. Every lottery winner I ever, the interviewed I ever talked to, whatever, what they always say, they got lucky. You know what I'm saying? The one thing they say, they ain't say, oh, man, I'm good at picking lottery tickets. Nah, no one ever says some shit like that. What they say, man, did I get lucky. So it's the same situation that happened to the 49ers. And obviously, it's unfortunate what happened with Trey Lance. But real quick, man, on a side note about this Trey Lance shit that I want to get out my chest, No disrespect, but, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of things I've seen about, his family, talking about Kyle Shanahan shouldn't have ran him, and he's basically, and us, coming from the DMV, we saw the RG3 situation with this Shanny and the backlash and all that situation, and I really don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the family member getting involved in situations like that. Like, they're not coaches. You know what I'm saying? If they were coaches, they would be coaching. Trust me, they make more money coaching than what the hell they're doing. So trust me. So they don't have that type of aptitude. So I don't like that. I'm a Shanahan defender. I'm an NFL coach defender because I think there's no racial compression when it comes to the football, when it comes to that position, or when it comes to did he do this, did he do that? No, it's about wins and losses. And in this situation, Trey Lance, the way he's at and his athletic ability, hell yeah, you got to use his feet. It's just so unfortunate. Their parents should be mad that he got tackled. That's what they should be mad that they put his ass on football, not damn swimming. If they didn't worry about getting hurt. Just on a side note. On a different note, yes, you all know how I feel about Jimmy G, man. I love me some Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is one of the most underrated, most disrespected. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I've never seen anybody as much as disrespect as Jimmy G that has the type of, let's just say, resume. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if people say, oh, he's got an A+ student from Stanford, he's just a C student, or he might be an A+ student from Arizona State. At the end of the day, an A+ is an A+. I don't think you get it in Arizona State. If you get that shit in Stanford, you know what I mean? If you're an A student, you're an A student. So I love Jimmy G, and I think just like a lottery winner, the 49ers got lucky and because of the whole offseason situation to even have a Jimmy G to, assist them in basically doing what he always does, help them win games.
Absolutely. This is my thing going into the season, and I get it, right? You trade all that you traded away to get that 3rd pick last year to ultimately trade Trey Lance. I understand that. But here's the thing, and I understand that we live in an era now where, like, the young quarterback starts right away. Like, we're long past the time where the first-round quarterback is sitting a year or 2 before they finally get the push. But Trey Lance, I felt, always should have been the exception because if you look back at how many starts he had leading into the NFL, he had the least amount of starts out of the top 5 quarterbacks that we were looking at last year. When you look at Trevor Lawrence, when you look at Mac Jones, you look at Zach Wilson, and you look at what Justin Fields had, they had vastly more experience on the college level than Trey Lance because of the COVID year and because of the quarterback that was in front of him, right? So when you compile that with the fact that he gets to the league last season, he gets drafted, he only plays 2 games. He doesn't have much NFL experience. He is a young guy. You combine that with the fact that Jimmy G, look, say what you want about Jimmy G and his physical limitations. Jimmy G's a winner. The 49ers win 3 times as many games as they do with Jimmy G as the starting quarterback than without him. That's a fact. Numbers don't lie. That is the truth of the matter. You've been to a Super Bowl with this quarterback. You've been to 2 NFC Championship games with this quarterback. And here's the thing. I know we like to blame Jimmy G, but Jimmy G wasn't the reason why the 49ers lost an NFC Championship game this past season. Jaquiski Tartt dropped an interception that would have sent the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl a couple months ago in at the end of January. That is why the 49ers weren't in 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Now, I get it. You want to sit here and talk about how Jimmy G overthrew Emmanuel Sanders in that Super Bowl against the Chiefs? I'll give you that. But the fact remains, you were there. There is not a guarantee that Trey Lance can come in and in 3 years get you to a Super Bowl because that's the bar. The bar is 2 NFC Championship games appearances and at least 1 Super Bowl in a 3-year time span. There is no guarantee that Trey Lance would have given you that. Jimmy, this is the last year of Jimmy G's contract anyway, so it doesn't hurt for Trey Lance to wait an extra year. It doesn't hurt to let Jimmy G ride it out one more time just to see if you can finally get it done. I like this. Obviously, I don't like that Trey Lance is hurt. I never want to see anybody get hurt, but I do like this for the 49ers. I think this does firmly put the 49ers in the hunt for solid seeding in the NFC again, like they were last season, the season before that, and the season before that. I think this gives them a strong position to potentially once again, for the second time in 4 years, represent the NFC in the Super Bowl come February. And I definitely think it gives them a really strong shot at making it to their 3rd NFC Championship game in 4 years because this defense is fantastic. Jimmy G knows the system. It's worked for him. There's question about the running back room, sure, but you still have George Kittle, you still got Deebo Samuel, you still have Brandon Ayuk. The talent is still there, and it's a guy in Jimmy G who is more than capable of getting the job done. I love this for the 49ers from the standpoint of they're not dropping off. In fact, I think the team has improved with Jimmy G being the quarterback, right? And he'll get a tough test this week against the Denver Broncos going to Mile High to take on the Broncos. That'll be a good first test to see just how much rust he has and also just what this team could look like. But I think the 49ers will be just fine, if not better. I definitely think the 49ers could potentially be right where they have been for the last 4 years, which is amongst one of the best teams in the NFC, if not one of the best teams in all of football, with Jimmy G as a starting quarterback. So I don't see a problem with it, but of course, wishing a speedy recovery to Trey Lance because you never want to see anybody get hurt and lose out on an entire season because of an injury.
Yeah, it's just so fun. I'm gonna just be real about it, man. Like watching films, you know me. I don't care about stats. Hell, I just look at the numbers, man, and I just look at the jersey number. And Trey Lance, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Right now, Trey Lance, no, he's not the guy. You know, everything shows that he's not the guy. I don't care if he's the first pick for the first 20 years of life. I don't care what pick is. Like, I don't care what pick. Obviously in football, yeah, obviously picks matters as far as your financial in your wallet, but it don't matter about wins and losses. It don't happen. Look at Baker Mayfield. He was a first of all damn pick. He can't win a damn game. So at the end of the day, I think Trey Lance was a stretch. It was a mistake that Shanahan made, and like I said, it's a lottery. I don't care. I don't think anybody's saying that, but I'm gonna say that on the Go Talk because it's one of the best shows in the platform. So I'm gonna say it was a mistake, dog. We all made mistakes, but one thing about people with ego, especially Shanahan's, like they realize it's a mistake. You know, even just like Green Bay with Jordan Love, they knew it was a mistake. So it's a mistake, and they just so happened that they got lucky, and because the football gods blessed them with a guy like Jimmy G. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think Trey Lance is ever gonna be the guy for San Francisco, and frankly, I don't think he's ever gonna be what people think it's gonna be in San Francisco. He might be somewhere else down the line, but as far as in San Francisco, nah, Shawty, I don't see that happening.
And I'm inclined to agree with you. He's a young quarterback, physically gifted. He's got the arm, he's got the wheels, but that doesn't always equate to success. And I think that's the point that we have to recognize. Whether you're a 49ers fan or not, you all have to recognize that just because you're physically gifted does not necessarily mean that you are going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the football. It doesn't mean you're going to be one of the best quarterbacks the game has ever seen or even in your generation. Now, from one young quarterback whose season is done to two young quarterbacks who could be seeing more time as the season goes on. We saw Malik Willis get some playing time on Monday night after the Bills just absolutely slaughtered the Tennessee Titans, and Mike Vrabel pulled the plug on Tannehill and put in Malik Willis. There's also been some rumblings that maybe the offense isn't happy with the way that Mitchell Trubisky has been playing through 2 weeks of the NFL season, and that we could see Kenny Pickett a lot sooner than maybe we predicted. Do you think we see Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis start as soon as this week, or do you think that the two guys that have the jobs right now still have a little bit left on the leash?
I mean, this is just one of those times. It's going to happen. Like, we know it's going to happen. When is it going to happen? We don't know, but it's going to happen. Like, that's just. I mean, they knew that when they drafted the kid. They knew that. And we all know what Tannehill is, man. Like, and at the end of the day, honestly, I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers should have started Kenny Pickett from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? From the onset, from week one, I thought he should have been a starter. As far as the Titans, now right there, I think it's a mess. I don't think people are going to realize the Titans stink, dog.
They do. They absolutely stink. They suck.
They stink, man. And it's not Tannehill. I don't think Tannehill could save him. Hell, I don't think Malik Willis could save him, to be honest with y'all. I think this going to be one of those situations when the Titans, when at the end of the year, the Titans probably going to have a top 5 draft pick, and they're going and I think they're going to be in position to get a real quarterback. As much as I see Malik Willis, I don't see something. I just don't see it, man. I don't see he looks more like a backup to me. I know he's a young kid. Like, dude, why are you going to procrastinate so well? Well, you know what? This is what I do. I'm the guru. I can see the future. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that when you know somebody's going to be successful, they can show you. Unless I don't see that in Malik Willis, man. I see him as a perennial backup. I think that's why he went down on the draft like that. The game is too fast for him. I don't think his decision-making is very excellent. I don't really think he has a good ball. Yeah, he might throw the ball far, but that don't mean shit in this league. And frankly, I don't think he's in the best situation with Mike Vrabel. I don't think that's the best situation to be a quarterback, to be a young quarterback, and they think they're going to give, and your best is they're going to basically scheme for you. They're not quarterback guys. There's certain coaches, they don't have, either you got to be a made man, but they're not going to make you. You know what I mean? It's just your environment. Sometimes, man, you raised in the hood, and you know what I'm saying, with drug parents, dog, that's not going to be a good environment for you to be successful. Yes, you can overcome certain things, but it's hard to overcome a broken home, man. That's what I see about Mike Vrabel's. Think about it. When you think about Mike Vrabel, you think about quarterback, dude. When you think about the Tennessee Titans, you think quarterback development. I don't even know who the hell the offensive coordinator is, dude. To be honest with you, I don't even know I have no clue who the offensive staff is. So I think for Malik Willis, it's just one of those situations. He's at the wrong place at the wrong time, man. And I don't see success with him. But as far as Kenny Pickett, now that's a different situation. I think they got a better organization in Pittsburgh. I think they could cater to him and do things around him. And we know, look at the talent the Pittsburgh Steelers got, man. You know what I mean? As far as the skill position. So I think he's in a better situation of success. And it's Pittsburgh. One thing I can tell you about Pittsburgh, they always have success, regardless who the quarterback is. But the Titans, I don't think they can make quarterbacks. We often see they had Mariota. Look what happened with that. I mean, you put a history of the damn Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel. He has never had a quarterback, man. Ever. And he's just not that type of dude to go groom a young quarterback.
So you think, despite the fact that they drafted Malik Willis in the 3rd round last year, it was past season, this year rather, and they still have Ryan Tannehill, you think it is very possible that if the Tennessee Titans have a top 5 pick, or even a top 10 pick, but let's just say a top 5 pick, that when it comes time to looking at the teams that could potentially be drafting a quarterback, we could be talking about the Tennessee Titans maybe looking at, maybe not a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud, because they'll be 1 and 2. And unless the Titans have 1 or 2, they probably won't be in the running for those guys. But you could foresee a scenario come draft time next year in April where the Tennessee Titans are potentially drafting one of these other quarterbacks that are going to come out in the draft this year.
If John Robinson is who I think he is, to be honest with you, and to be honest, Malik Willis is just, he's a 3rd-round quarterback, man. They need a backup after they get rid of Tannehill this year. All right, so he's going to be in this system. He could be a backup, scramble, do whatever he does. But at the end of the day, they knew Malik Willis is not the guy, bro. You can see Malik Willis is not the guy. He's not the type of guy they want, man. So for the Tennessee Titans, I envision, regardless what the situation is, this year they will be getting a first. If they have a first-round pick, I didn't see the draft, but if they do have a first-round pick, they will be getting a damn quarterback. That's a no-brainer. Like, that is a no-brainer. They don't have that in the roster. They will give Malik Willis a chance, and the whole world is going to see why Malik Willis is a third round and he's a backup. Put it like this: if Malik was in the Shanahan's, I'll feel more comfortable with him being used to his ability. But he's not there, bro. He's not there, and I don't think he. Like I said, I don't see him succeeding in Tennessee. It's just in a bad environment, wrong place at the wrong time.
That's fair. And I was of the mindset at the beginning of the season that the Tennessee Titans weren't going to make it back to the playoffs. They just lost too much. You don't have A.J. Brown. I get Julio Jones was in and out of the lineup last year, but you don't have Julio Jones, right? You're really just back in a scenario where you're going to have to rely on Derrick Henry. He's coming off of a foot injury. And I get it. He is Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry hasn't looked like Derrick Henry so far through 2 weeks of the season, which is also something to be concerned about. The Tennessee Titans are 0-2 with a loss to the Giants in week 1 and then that slacking in week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. So Malik Willis, I think we could see Malik Willis really, really soon because the Tennessee Titans are done. Like, no matter who the quarterback is, the Titans are done for. Like, so at this point, you might, I guess, put Malik Willis in there because I get it. The AFC South is really, 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 really bad. I get it. The Colts are 0-1-1. The Jaguars are at the top of the division right now at 1-1. The Texans have no wins on the season, and of course, the Titans are winless. The AFC South is terrible. The Jags might win this division. Like, we were talking in the offseason about how it's possible. After 2 weeks in the season, the Jaguars only have one game, are the only team with a win, and they have a favorable schedule, the most favorable schedule of the rest of the division, as far as they have a lot of toss-up games. They have a game against the rest. They have games, obviously, against the rest of the NFC East. Obviously, they have the game against the Giants. They have a game against the Eagles. They have a game against the Cowboys, obviously, right? And that game against the Cowboys comes in that window when Dak is going to be out. So that's a winnable game for them. They obviously have the 6 games against the division. Like, the Jaguars could mess around and win this division, which a couple months ago, or at the end of last year, thought was crazy, and a couple months ago it was kind of like a joke, like, oh, I'm gonna be crazy. But at this point, it's possible that we could see the Jaguars win this division.
I never thought it was a joke. I love the Jags. I was all about the Jags. I was about the Jags as soon as the season was over. As soon as I hired Doug Peterson, I said the Jags were going to be
and that was a massive pickup for them in getting in Doug Peterson. Absolutely.
Hands down. I tell people this. I have the Jags high. You don't understand. I already made future bets in freaking February, dude, after the draft that they're going to win the division. For me, I don't think it was clear. I thought it was a no-brainer. Yes, like I said, you watch film. I'm a film guy. I don't care about numbers and all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I put up the films, and I'm like, bro, are you guys serious? In this conference, the Jags are the best team in this conference coming in. They had Christian Kirk. They had an explosive player. I love what they did with the Marvin Jones. You have another veteran guys. I mean, I love it. Travis Etienne coming back. They have 2 running backs. John Robinson. They upgraded the offensive lineman. Like, this was a no-brainer, dude. Like, I don't know what the national media was thinking or what their rhetoric was because they don't watch film. But this was an easy pick, and it's like an easy money for me, man. It's a slam dunk. This is my theory. The best coach, the best quarterback means you're going to be the best team in the division. And the Giants got the best coach, and they got the best quarterback, which equals the best team in the division.
And that makes perfect sense. I mean, and you look at the other side of things as far as the Steelers are concerned. Don't get me wrong. I thought that Mitch Trubisky going to the Steelers would keep them in line to potentially sneak into the playoffs. I think that when you look at what's happened over the past, and it's only been 2 weeks, it's possible. It was possible after week 1, and then it all just kind of went away after week 2 because the offense just looked absolutely terrible. Whether it's Kenny Pickett or whether it's Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback play this season is going to be better than any quarterback play they got from Ben Roethlisberger the last 3 years. He was the quarterback for the Steelers because he was injured. He just wasn't that strong kind of mobile threat in the pocket as far as being able to move around in the pocket and buy himself some time and evade sacks and things like that. Not that he's like any fast or anything like that, but Big Ben was almost like a movable object in the pocket sometimes as far as evading defenders and sacks and things like that. The quarterback play is going to be much better. The offensive options are going to be wide open because of the mobility. I think there's still a chance. Maybe if they get this is the Steelers we're talking about, right? I think they're locked in at 9 wins no matter what because it is the Steelers. And because they're a good football team, and it is Mike Tomlin, and why would I think that Mike Tomlin's not going to have a winning season when all he does is have winning seasons?
The Jimmy G at the head coaches is Mike Tomlin, good-looking guy. But always
I mean, you're right. So I think if I had to put I do think that we see Malik Willis before we see Kenny Pickett. I think we see Kenny Pickett if it becomes blatantly obvious that Mitch Trubisky just can't get the job done. And we see the Pittsburgh Steelers going to kick off week 3 tomorrow night against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. So that's going to be a pretty much a strong indication of whether or not they're going to want to move forward with Mitch. And the Steelers are like the ultimate professional franchise. They're not going to make a big thing about it. Like Mike Tomlin's going to come out to a press conference and say, yeah, we've decided to move on to Kenny Pickett. It's not going to be it's not going to be a leaked thing or anything like that. Like if they're going to make the move, we're going to know, right? But like, what we do, we kind of speculate. But I do think we see Malik Willis a lot sooner than we see Kenny Pickett, because I do think that Mitchell Trubisky is better than Ryan Tannehill. And I do think that Mitchell Trubisky for the Steelers still gives them a little bit more hope than Ryan Tannehill does to the Titans. Because like I said, the Titans are done. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. The Titans are done. Like they are finished. The only way that they can become any type of threat in the AFC is if Derrick Henry starts to get back to the Derrick Henry that we all know. And as great as Derrick Henry is, at his size, with that kind of ankle injury that foot injury he suffered last year, I don't know if we can get back to seeing Derrick Henry getting 25 rushes a game and still being at that level because of the injury. Not because he's bad, but because of the injury. But the Titans, done. The Steelers, not so much. And that's why I think it could be a little bit more time before we see Kenny Pickett. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans announce this week that Malik Willis is starting their game for week 3. I just wouldn't be surprised because they are finished. They're done.
Out of respect, because the thing I love about the Titans organization, I do like, and John Robinson, the GM, and those guys, they're professionals,
Yeah.
In this game, there's advocacy in the way how you do things in this level, Out of the professionalism, Tannehill has been very successful for them the last 2 years. So they will give him ample opportunities to mess up. You know what I mean? So that's why I see them going 0-4, and then that's when you start seeing things. You know what I mean? But as far as I think the next week, I don't see it because of the professionalism as far as they have. Look at what they did with that whole situation. It was the Mariota and Tannehill situation. They handled it with professionalism. They're just like the Pittsburgh. That's a great organization.
It is really great organization.
Yeah, so I think both organizations will handle it well. They're equipped to handle it well. But the difference is, I just don't think Malik Willis is going to be an improvement than Tannehill. As much as Tannehill sucked, I don't see Malik Willis. The only thing they want to do is see Malik Willis in action so they could have a reason to be like, you know what? He's going to be the backup and we'll get their quarterback next year. I think that's just that's the only reason I see Malik Willis having any position of playing, so they could already evaluate him and realize what most people already realize, that really he might be a spot starter, but eventually I don't see him being as a very successful NFL quarterback.
Sure. Now let's go from the losing end of Monday Night Football to the dominating winning end of Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills, through 2 weeks of the NFL season, I get it's only been 2 weeks, the Buffalo Bills have gone to Los Angeles, to the home of the Super Bowl from last year, to the home of the current Super Bowl champions, and just absolutely blasted them 31-10. They followed that up by going back on primetime a week later on Monday night and blasting the Titans 41-7 at home. The Buffalo Bills, looking in it, coming in, a lot of people think they have the best quarterback, could potentially be the MVP. They have the best defense, potentially the best offense, the best quarterback wide receiver duo. Stephon Diggs, through 2 weeks, it's already looked like he is ready to stake his claim at the top of the wide receiver mountain in the NFL. How long do you expect Buffalo's dominance to continue over the NFL? Or do you think we're being a little bit too brash with anointing the Buffalo Bills so far through 2 weeks?
Honestly, that's a great question. Me personally, as far as the Bills goes, I don't get too googly eye with them until I see them play against the Chiefs. Like, until they could beat the Chiefs. I mean, I've seen them blow teams out. It's not the first time, dude. They did it all last year. Like, yes, they have the talent to do it, but this is not about week 2 for the Bills. Yes, I know. Why we're supposed to be excited, but at the end of the day, I keep I shimmer down with the Bills until they go to Kansas City. You know what I mean? Because if we're all talking, the Chiefs are 2-0, bro. You know what I'm saying? They are 2-0.
They are. Yep.
People keep talking, all the Bills are dominant. I'm like, well, they're kryptonite. They haven't beat them dudes over there. They had 12 seconds to win last year. They didn't do it. So to me, they can talk about all the Bills, they can talk about the Bills all they want. At the end of the day, till I see them go to Kansas. I don't care if they beat the Dolphins. Dude, I don't care. I don't care if they beat the Rams on the day. They win the Rams didn't care. They get the rings. They partied and not. I don't care about that shit. My focus is when it comes down to the come down, bro.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the let's see, Sean McDermott? Do you have the innovative defense it takes to make it stop? I'm not worried about Josh
Sure.
Allen. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because this game, the Bills, it comes down to is Sean McDermott that good of a coach to outdo Andy Reid? And right now,
Yeah.
Andy Reid, do you think Andy Reid is losing sleep over Sean McDermott and what the Bills are doing? So to me, I like what the Bills are doing until I see that Kansas City game. It's just like, okay, it's the Bills. Ooh, it's the Bills. So
Now, that's fair. And here's the thing: we will get to see the Bills in Kansas City for the first time since that divisional game, Week 6. They play right before their 4:25 game on CBS. They will be in Kansas City. I agree with you to an extent. I do agree with you that this is what the Bills do. The Bills beat down on the teams they're supposed to beat down on. I agree with you. Here is why I do think, though, that the Bills deserve a lot of the praise that they've been getting in the offseason and also so far through 2 weeks. When you look at the Bills last week, the Bills' record last week and their defensive stats last week was bolstered by beating up on bad teams. The Jets, the Dolphins, they beat up on the Patriots, they beat up on Washington and the Texans and all this stuff. Straight against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they beat up on a lot of bad teams. And the teams that they lost to were teams that could run the football. The Indianapolis Colts they lost to. They lost to the Steelers opening week. They lost to the Tennessee Titans last week. So far through 2 games, they've beaten 2 teams that have a good running game. For some reason, the Rams just absolutely abandoned their run game in week 1. So that's pretty much how they lost that game. And week 2, obviously, as we talk about, Derrick Henry just has been a non-factor so far through 2 weeks, which who would have thought, right? As you look down the rest of their schedule, they have the Dolphins. They've got the Ravens. That's a run team. They have the Steelers as a run first team. They have the Chiefs, like I mentioned. My Packers, they have in week 8 coming out of the bye. The Packers seem like they're shifting to the run first kind of scheme. They have the Jets. Minnesota is pass first, but they have a strong running back in Dalvin Cook. They've got the Browns, that's run first team. The Lions, the Patriots, the Jets, again, obviously the Dolphins. They finish off with the Bears and the Bengals. So far, the one thing that we always talk about the Bills, aside from their inability to run the football and incorporate their running backs as much as possible, what they've done through 2 weeks, is also their inability to stop the run. So far through 2 weeks, the Buffalo Bills has been one of the best run defense in football. And that is what I do think warrants some of the praise that the Bills have been getting through 2 weeks, because that's really been the thing. Now, I also think the other thing, too, is the Bills might just be the most complete team in football. They have a fantastic offense. The defense is spectacular. The running game it's getting there, right? They have a really good offensive line. The week 6 game to me in Kansas City, I think, as you mentioned, is the most important game on the Bills schedule. That is the game that lets us know what the Bills are going to look like come playoff time when those 2 teams meet again, because they're going to play each other again. We will see the Bills and the Chiefs play each other again. It's going to happen. That week 6 game is super, super, super duper important. Andy Reid is one of those coaches that coaches for the playoffs. You know, like, we're going to make it to the playoffs. We're going to coach for the playoffs. Recognize that. I understand that 100%. But that is going to be a very important game for the Buffalo Bills on this schedule, because I had the Bills originally going 15-2. They had 2 losses, the Rams and the Chiefs. Well, they beat the Rams. If they beat the Chiefs, I don't see the Bills losing game on the schedule. I can't foresee a scenario where the Bills lose a game if they beat the Chiefs. I really can't. Call me crazy, say I'm crazy. I can't do it. I can't. I love the Packers. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to beat the Bills, especially if somehow the Bills lose to the Chiefs. Because the Bills lose to the Chiefs, have a bye week, and they start stewing in anger. The Bills might just drop 50 on my Packers, and I don't want to see that the day before Halloween. It'll be really scary. But I think the Bills really need that week 6 win. And aside from that week 6 game, every other game I think is a Bills win at this point.
I think you're mixing with every other rhetoric in the whole world about this Bills situation. Like, you must be a Bills Mafia guy. The Bills did.
I'm not. Man, I'm not. The Bills are fantastic.
Hey,
the Bills are superb.
Like, man, I'm working because they'll pay the bills. So Bills was always in your head. You know, it was already in your head. Just Bills. And what I tell you, my Bills. You just talk about Bills, dude. I sound like Destiny Child right now. Just Bills. You know, at the end of the day, bro, look, I don't believe in the Bills until they beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the most complete team in football. I don't know where
the defense is terrible. The Chiefs' defense is abysmal.
Goodness. You know the funny thing is, right?
Their secondary is garbage.
Whose secondary is garbage?
The Chiefs' secondary is terrible.
Oh, I totally disagree. Really? They're young.
Really?
They're going through injuries. When they get back, You think, and this is what you know about an experienced team. It's about in the league, you got to peak at the right time. You think the Chiefs care about week 6? That's the Super
No,
Bowl.
they don't care about week 6. Of course. I agree with you. I agree.
What the Chiefs have done this offseason, I'm so like, the people took them out the Bills. I'm so excited about what Brett Veach and the way the Kansas City Chiefs have changed over. It's like look at this. At first, you know what the Bills are doing? The Bills now they look like the Chiefs 2-3 years ago. The Chiefs are totally revamped that style of offense. Now now you see the Bills doing that wide open K-gun shooting it, and Josh Allen. I've seen this before, dog. That was my man Mahomes 2 years ago. I've seen this movie before. And then you know what happened?
Would you take right now, today, would you take Kansas City's offense right now, today, over Buffalo's offense, given what we've seen through 2 weeks?
Right now?
Right now, at 8:46 p.m. today, would you take the Chiefs' offense over the Bills' offense right now, given what we've seen through the first 2 weeks of the season?
I believe the Chiefs' offense is geared to winning the Super Bowl more than the Bills' offense. That's my 100%. That's what the film shows. 100%. Because what the Bills are doing, the Chiefs already been there, done that, and they realize, we only went to one Super Bowl. This is not going to work. Why do you think the Chiefs changed the whole mindset of doing things? You know,
the only edge I can give to the Chiefs, like offensively, hands down, without a question, I say this is the one. This part of this offense is better than this part over here. Is the fact that they have the best tight end in football. Aside from that, I take the Bills wide receivers. I take the Bills. I take the Bills wide receivers. I would take Josh Allen over Pat Mahomes. Not by a lot. It's a smidge. It's a toss up. But the wide receiver room in Buffalo is absolutely by millions and millions and millions and millions of miles better than Kansas City's wide receiver room.
Let me ask you this question though, because now I look like we're on First Take or something right now. Let me ask you this question, dude. You know, because you're talking about this receiver, dude. This Bills receiving core was not better than Tyreek Hill and those receiving core and the Chiefs had a couple years ago. None.
We're talking about right now. I'm talking about this season. This year's wide receiver room is terrible.
Okay, no, they know because they changed what their philosophy, bro. The philosophy.
You take who? If we're taking this all these wide receivers in both rooms, right? Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, all these wide receivers in Buffalo, all the wide receivers over here in Kansas City, you're gonna get at least you're gonna name 3 Buffalo receivers before you name one Kansas City receiver if you're building a depth chart of wide receivers.
So you thinking the wide receiver gonna win the Super Bowl for him? Oh yeah, this is
but what I'm saying is from an offensive standpoint, the Bills defense or the Bills offensively, I think, can do more damage at this point to Kansas City's defense than Kansas City's offense can do to the Bills defense. Because the Bills defense is so much better. The Bills defense is modeled in a way after the defense that the Broncos had in Super Bowl 50 when Von Miller was pretty much lined up as like an extension of the defensive line because they shifted everybody to the right and let Von Miller do whatever the hell they wanted to do on the right side of the D line. That's what the Bills have been doing so far through 2 weeks, and it's been working, and that's when we've seen Von Miller play his best defense. This defense in Buffalo is incredible, and it's better than Kansas City's defense, and that's what it's going to come down to.
No. See, this is a fact right here. This is what the film tells you. Let me tell you what the Chiefs got better than the Bills offensively. The Chiefs got a way better offensive line. That's not even a debate. The offensive line for the Chiefs is supreme over than the Bills' offensive line. The Chiefs got a better running system, better running backs. Yeah, you want to talk about receiver rooms? Give me the running back rooms. I take the Chiefs running back and their offensive line better, and I take the Chiefs quarterback. So if you want to look at it, that's better.
You take Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Devin Singletary.
Then who?
Over Devin Singletary.
Who does he even start? Who the hell is the
This Devin Singletary start? Yes, he's the starting running back. Yeah, Devin Singletary starts.
Who's the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills?
Devin Singletary. It's Josh Allen. Actually.
Okay, now let me know. Who is the leading rusher? You name me a running back. Who leads? You talk about a running back that had the quarterback as the leading rusher in the team for the last 2 years, dude. Come on, man. You name me.
Devin Singletary.
Dog,
Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary might have 500 yards his whole career. Who the hell is Devin Singletary, dude? Who are you naming, dude? What is Devin?
He's the starting running back for the Buffalo Bills.
He might not be the starting running back next week. They have like 5-6 guys. At the end of the day, when we know who gets the ball when they run the ball, who's the most threat in Buffalo?
From a running standpoint, it's Josh Allen. It is Josh Allen.
No. You name every weapon. Devin Singletary out of the whole Bills weapon, he should be like number 25. Come on, man. You come on, Devin Singletary, dude. That's a nice try. You got me all worked up. That's a nice. Is that the only running back you can remember? I don't even know why you mentioned them because
they have three good running backs. They have Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and James Cook. They have three good running backs.
None of them. Who's the starter?
Devin Singletary is the starter. Zach Moss is the backup, and James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, is the rookie they drafted this year. That's seen a little bit of playing time so far through 2 weeks.
And in 2 weeks, who's led the team in rushing?
Josh Allen.
Oh wow! And you gonna see something gonna be different? I don't see it going to change next week. I don't think it's going to change in 5 weeks from now. I don't think it's going to change.
But I would still take Devin Singletary over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I would.
Oh, Murcielago.
He's a better receiver out of the backfield, which is Devin Singletary is a better receiver out of the backfield, which is a viable asset in running backs in today's offense. He's a more physical runner. I think he's a better runner of the football. Just because he doesn't get as many touches as Clyde does because the Buffalo runs a pass-first offense doesn't mean Devin's is a bad running back or not better than Clyde. And I'm not saying that Clyde's a bad running back because Clyde is explosive and he was an integral part of LSU's championship offense in 2019. I recognize that, I understand that, I accept that. I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's fantastic, right? He was a big part of the offense.
But you forget about the other guy. You got McKinnon and you got the other guy name I can't pronounce right now, but you put the tape on him. Look, man, I don't know names. Okay, don't think I can tell you.
I know you don't know names. You know numbers. I know you know numbers. You don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
The only thing I can tell you is the way the Bills are set up. They're set up to come in second place. The way the Chiefs are set
up. So you think the Bills are going to be bridesmaids again this year?
Dude,
whether it's the Chiefs, the Chargers, whoever makes it to the Super Bowl, you think the Bills are not going to be in the Super Bowl this year? They're going to be bridesmaids.
The Bills are not, the way they're set up, bro. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. It's the same.
So you're not impressed with the offense? You're not impressed with the defense, or is it just not enough?
I'm not impressed with them winning games because they want to win a championship. And their team, I'm telling you, the way the team is set up, the way the coaching staff set the philosophy, it's not a championship philosophy. That's why they always come short. They don't have a philosophy. This is not. I love Josh Allen, but for him to be for them to even get to the Super Bowl, he has to have a Cam Newton type season. He has to. But the difference is
he's better than Cam Newton.
But the difference, not that 1 year when Cam Newton was a beast. Let's stop it, dog. Don't disrespect Cam Newton. Now, y'all forget about
I'm not disrespecting Cam Newton. I'm not disrespecting Cam Newton. Josh Allen's better than Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's MVP season, Josh Allen's never had a season like that.
He's gonna have that season this year and it's gonna be 10 times better.
You know that's ridiculous. You said he might. No, I've seen Cam do it.
No, it's not might. He's gonna do it. Josh Allen right now is.
But the difference is.
But I don't think comparing a quarterback's MVP season to a quarterback who hasn't had an MVP season is fair because obviously that would be the best season that quarterback.
I wouldn't better than him.
I can't. He is. Josh Allen is better than Cam Newton. He can do all the things that Cam Newton can do from a running standpoint, and he has a better arm. He's a better passer.
I don't think you do.
100%.
You do, bro. As a runner, you disrespect.
Can Cam Newton run over Aaron Donald? No. Can Josh Allen run over Aaron Donald? Absolutely, he can. You've seen it. It's
a YouTube show, and I can't wait to somebody YouTube Cam Newton 2015. You forget.
I saw it.
For Cam. I gotta do this for Cam.
I get it. No, it's. I don't think Cam is bad. And Cam Newton's season was fantastic. 2015, 15-1. I get it. Made it to the Super Bowl. Got spanked in the Super Bowl by the Denver Broncos. I get it. By the defense that the Bills are running right now. I get it. But Josh Allen can do everything that Cam Newton can do from a mobility standpoint, and he's a better passer than Cam Newton. I'd take Josh Allen over Cam Newton.
And I'll tell you this, I love Josh Allen, like I said.
And not to cut you off, and the things that Josh Allen is doing as far as leading the team in rushing, he's doing this in a pass-first system. The Panthers were a run-first system. They were built to do all that running and stuff that Cam was doing in 2015. The Bills aren't built to be run-first, and Josh Allen is still a very prolific and a very dangerous dual-threat quarterback. How many quarterbacks in the NFL have you seen? You watch the film. How many videos have you seen of quarterbacks not named Josh Allen running over Aaron Donald, running over cornerbacks, putting cornerbacks into the ground because of how strong and how physical they are as a runner? Nobody not named Josh Allen has ever done that in the league so far. Lamar Jackson's fantastic. Kyler Murray's fantastic. Russell Wilson's fantastic. They're elusive. Josh Allen is a man among boys at the quarterback position. He's a lethal thrower of the football. He's lethal with his legs, and I would take Josh Allen over Cam Newton right now.
All right, well, okay. The only thing I can say is they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Okay, that's all I care about. He could fly over buildings. He could stiff arm DBs. He could run over Aaron Donald. But why don't he do that against Kansas City? Whatever you're telling me, why don't he do that against the Chiefs, bro? That's what I'm saying.
We're going to see him do it in week 6. He's going to do it in week 6.
I don't care about week 6. I care about week 18. You know, when he matters. That's what I was seeing. I care about week 19. Week 6.
That's fine.
The Chiefs don't work. The Chiefs are the big dog of the AFC. Last year,
they're not.
Lucky ass Joe Burrow situation. Come on, bro.
No, Joe Burrow. No, that's not luck. That is not luck. That's not luck. That's not luck. Luck is one time. It is, but let's get into it. Luck is one time. Joe Burrow beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice from behind last season. Twice. He did it twice. That's not luck. That's not luck. That is life. That's life for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Lightning in the bottle. You know what I'm saying? They're one lucky ass seat. Bro, we all get lucky one time, dog. You think the Bengals Super Bowl team?
Do I think the Bengals are a Super Bowl caliber basketball team? Do I think they could make it back to the Super Bowl? Yeah, I do.
Oh, man,
why can't they?
Hey, you are on.
Why can't they?
I'm so happy.
Why can't they?
Show the straight you out.
Why can't they?
I'm so happy.
Why can't they?
I see you
why can't they?
Talking
why can't they?
Nonsense.
Why can't they? Why can't they? I get it. They're 0-2. I get it. They're 0-2. Bad loss to the Cowboys. Bad loss in week 1. They still have one of the most prolific offenses in football from the quarterback and wide receiver standpoint. They still have one of the best running backs in football. The defense is mediocre. I'll give you that. The defense is mediocre. It's not that great. The offensive line is not what it's supposed to be. I understand that as well. But from a totality standpoint, the Bengals are fine. They're off to a rough start. It happens. It happens. The Kansas City Chiefs last season started off the season 2-5. They were in the AFC Championship game. Let's not act like let's not act like we haven't seen rough starts before. Let's not act like we have not seen rough starts before. The Kansas City Chiefs, after going to the Kansas City Chiefs, went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago to Tampa Bay. They lost. They revamped the O-line. When they revamped the O-line, what happened? They got off to a slow start. We saw this movie before, and they made it back to the AFC Championship game. We saw that. That's what happened. So I am not off of the Bengals because they're off to a slow start when the offensive line is still gelling and it's still meshing. I'm not off of the Bengals right now. Am I mildly concerned? I am, because I didn't expect this to be an 0-2 start. Absolutely. But I'm not off of the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals are a bad football team. I don't think the Bengals have gone back to being the Bungles. I just think they off to a rough start. But we saw the Chiefs get off to a similar start last season, and they were in the AFC Championship game. They started off the season 2-5.
You don't compare the Chiefs and the lucky Bengals. I just hit it.
I'm comparing the scenarios. The scenarios are similar. The Chiefs went to the Super Bowl with the suspect O-line against Tampa Bay. Got slaughtered. They revamped the O-line, and there was a little bit of stumbling out of the gate. The Cincinnati Bengals.
How many years in a row has? First of all, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. Am I correct?
They did.
Okay, yes. Back-to-back. Okay,
I'm not denying that.
Okay.
I'm not denying that.
And then how many years? I think it's been 4 straight years now they've been in the AFC Championship game, right?
They've hosted 4 straight AFC Championships.
Okay, so that's what I gotta say, because no other team,
that's fine.
No Bills, no Bengals, none of that nonsense have done that in that time span ever.
That's fine. That's fine.
So my thing is, if the team still, that was one game away, one half. Let me take that back. One mistake half. Not again, one half from going 3 feet to the Super Bowl. You telling me they might be the 3rd best team in the damn conference?
No, I'm not saying they're the 3rd best team in the conference. The Chiefs are better than the Bengals. Absolutely, the Chiefs are better than the Bengals. What I'm saying, though, is when we're talking about the Bengals having started 0-2, we saw this movie last season. The Chiefs went to the Super Bowl. They lost to Tampa Bay. They revamped the O-line, and there was stumbling out of the gate. The Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl with a suspect O-line. They lost. They revamped the O-line.
The Bengals suspect O-line. Come on, stop it. You throwing shades. Suspect. They have no O-line. They got lucky last year.
They had a suspect O-line last season. They improved it, and it's taking some time for it to get back to where it needs to be.
I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this, Mark. Mark is my man. The Jacksonville Jags are better than the Bengals.
No, they're not. No, they are not.
I'll put this on your show, because you better put me back on your show. By the end,
you're going to be back. You're going to be back. You'll be back 3 or 4 times this season.
I'm gonna quote by the end of the season, and I'm putting it everywhere. The Jags will have a better record than the Bengals.
No, I can't go there with you. I can't go there with you.
You don't have to.
I can't go there with you.
You see it.
The Jags are not better than the Bengals. They're not.
Okay.
They have a better coach, sure.
Okay.
But
Really?
the Bengals have a better running back. They have a better wide receiver room. They have a better quarterback. They have a better defense. I'll give the Jags a better O-line.
Hey, I see what you like. I get it. You love wide receivers because that's the only thing that comes out your mouth. I love wide receivers.
I'm giving you a position of what I'm saying is I can't. How can you justify? How can you justify the Jaguars being a better team when the only thing they have better than the Bengals is a coach and an O-line? They don't have better quarterback. They don't have better wide receivers. They don't have.
Who says that's
what else do the Jaguars have better than the Bengals right now?
They got a better record than the Bengals.
From a team perspective.
Yeah.
You said
Bengals, right? Isn't it
let's ignore the record for a second. You said the Jaguars are a better football team.
Yes.
What on their football team do the Jags have better than the Bengals, aside from having a better coach and having a better O-line? Trevor Lawrence isn't better than Joe Burrow. Christian Kirk's not better than T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, or Jamar Chase. Travis Etienne Jr. and James Harms, I love both of them. They're on my fantasy teams this year, but they're not better than Joe Mixon. Their defense might be – it's a top – what do the Jaguars have outside of coaching and O-line better than the Bengals that could justify the Jaguars as a unit being better, record or not, than the Bengals on paper?
Oh, my goodness. Because the game is not played on paper, dude. All right? The game is not played on paper. The game is not played on which one is the fourth overall pick, Jamar Chase, who put a stogie in his mouth.
We're not talking picks. Jamar Chase is the number one option on Jacksonville tomorrow. Christian Kirk's the fourth option on Jacksonville tomorrow. That's a fact. Joe Mixon, number one running back in Jacksonville tomorrow.
And they have all that greatness. And the Jags
Joe Burrow turns Trevor Lawrence into a backup quarterback tomorrow if they're on the same football team. That's a fact. It's a fact.
I say your opinion is your fact. Okay.
Is Joe Burrow not better than Trevor Lawrence, Guru?
Look at it. Hey, what are you basing that on?
Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence.
You basing that on what they're lucky last year, or you basing that on this new NFL season?
I'm basing it off of all of it. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback.
Because in football, bro, nobody gives a damn about last year because because we heard the Urban Meyer situation that made the Jags look like a clown show. Like a clown show last year. If you don't recall, it was a clown show.
The Jaguars were a clown show before Urban Meyer got there.
Hold up. And now the Bengals all of a sudden another clown show because they had one lucky season.
It wasn't luck. The Bengals were a good football team last year.
When?
The Bengals were a good football team last year.
7-7, right? Or 7-6, right? Like the
Bengals were a good football team.
Okay. And the Jags
beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice last season. Stumped the Ravens twice last season.
And they won't make it happens, dude. And it won't ever happen again. It won't happen again.
The Cincinnati Bengals are not a bad football team. They're going through a rough patch.
You don't know it yet. They're bad coach. They're bad. Hey,
are the Bengals missing? Are the Bengals missing the playoffs? Are the Bengals missing the playoffs?
The Bengals ain't going to the playoffs.
The Bengals aren't going to the playoffs.
The Bengals are not going to the playoffs.
So if the Bengals aren't going to the playoffs, who are the 7 teams going to the playoffs?
The Jags are going to the playoffs. The Bengals ain't going to the playoffs.
Buffalo's going to the playoffs. We know that. Kansas City's going to the playoffs. We know that. The Chargers going to the playoffs. We know that. I agree with you. The Jags are going to the playoffs. I agree with you. Let's do 3 more spots.
Okay.
Denver's not going to the playoffs.
Dolphins.
The Dolphins are not going to the playoffs.
Okay.
The Miami Dolphins are not going to the playoffs.
Jags, they're better than the Bengals. Dude, it's all right. It's all right. The
Miami Dolphins are the second best team in their division.
And
they're the eighth or ninth best team in the conference.
Bro, the Bengals are not going to the playoff. You know why? Because they're going to probably come in dead last in their division.
The Bengals are not last in the division this year.
Okay.
There's no the Bengals with
who?
With Deshaun Watson not playing for damn near the entire season, and Mitch Trubisky and or Kenny Pickett being the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh, and TJ Watt missing a chunk of time, there's no way possible the Bengals are going to be so bad this season where they're going to be last in the division. Will they lose a step? Absolutely. I think they've lost a step. They're not going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to be the worst team in the division. They're not going to bring up the caboose again. It's not going to happen. They'll be second, maybe third if the Browns can stay afloat long enough until Deshaun Watson gets back, and then they kind of take off on those last 6 games or those last 5 games of the season. But last, fourth in the caboose? I don't think so. I can't see the Bengals being last in the division.
It's so funny how time. I guess I am an older male because I'm used to seeing the Bengals coming last my whole life. You know, and I don't.
I'm used to it too. I'm used to it too.
And all of a sudden, they had 8-9 win season. You know, and because
the Bengals have a generational quarterback, a generational wide receiver.
Let me tell you one thing.
That is a recipe. That is a recipe for talent, right? You can go up and down all the good teams in football. We go up and down all the good teams in football. The Bills, generational talent at quarterback, really good wide receiver, playoff team. The Chiefs, generational talent at quarterback, really good tight end, playoff team. The Chargers, generational talent at quarterback, really good wide receiver, playoff team. That's the formula in the AFC. Generational talent at quarterback, really good wide receiver. It's a playoff team. The Vikings, are the Vikings a playoff team? Do you think the Vikings are a playoff team this year?
Dude, first of all, I like how you throw your fancy word, generational. Like, what is the criteria to make it? So Joe Burrow is a generational quarterback now?
Joe Burrow might just, first of all, Joe Burrow is going to go down in history when he retires as one of the 5 best quarterbacks of his generation. Yes.
Wow.
When we're talking about when we're talking about a generation that has Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, we're talking about a generation that also included Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and all those bums and Josh Rosen that have done absolutely nothing in their careers so far. They are in Joe Burrow's generation. Joe Burrow is going to go down as a top 5 quarterback of this era of football. When we look back and we say, wow, who are the greatest quarterbacks of that span of time when Joe Burrow was quarterback? Joe Burrow is going to be on that list. The same way we look back at 2004 and whatnot, and we look at how great Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Big Ben and Phillip Rivers and Kurt Warner and all those quarterbacks were in that early 2000 era. The same way we look at how in the mid-2010s we're talking about Russell Wilson, we're talking about still Tom Brady because how great he is. We're still talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about some of these other quarterbacks. The same way we're doing all of that. When we look back and we say who were the 5 best quarterbacks of the 2020s, we're talking about Josh Allen. We're talking about Justin Herbert. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson, and we are without a doubt going to be talking about Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow is a fantastic quarterback, and there's no denying how great Joe Burrow is as a quarterback.
Well, I have issues with Joe Burrow. You know,
what's wrong with Joe Burrow?
The film out there. First of all, one thing I've noticed about Joe Burrow, especially this season, this dude is killing his receivers. This dude, I'm gonna do my film. I'm gonna do it just for you. I'm going to show you what Joe Burrow has been doing to. I'm surprised some of the receivers are not dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Joe Burrow's placement. I don't like the way he plays. It's a lot I can nerd out about your boy Queen, Joe Burrow. You know, because let me guess, he got a great receiving room because that's the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Put it like this, man.
Name a wide receiver trio in the NFL better than Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins.
Put it like
who in the NFL? Because now you want to talk about me being loving the wide receiver room. What trio of wide receivers is better than the 3 wide receivers? Is it the Chiefs don't have a better wide receiver trio? That's for sure. They don't. It's not the Chiefs. I love the Bills, but it's not the Bills.
You know this. I'm not saying anything about wide receivers, man. The only thing I care about is offensive linemen, dude. My focus is always on the big boys.
Okay. Meat and potatoes. I get it. I got it.
What wins football game is the big boys.
I got it.
And the signal caller. You can work. I don't care. They could put a Marcus out there receiver. As long as you have a great signal, I don't give a damn who the hell the receivers are. Receivers are down.
So Joe Burrow's not a good signal caller? Joe Burrow's not a good signal caller? You don't think Joe Burrow's a good signal caller?
I have issues with the Joe Burrow right now, and I think.
Where does Joe Burrow rank?
The film shows Trevor Lawrence is a better talent than Joe Burrow.
No, but being a better talent and being a better quarterback.
No, you're talking about generational and all that nonsense, right? I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a better generational than Joe Burrow. Yes.
So when we look back on the 2020s, you think Trevor Lawrence will have had a better 2020s decade than the quarterback that's already been to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Because in order to be better than Joe Burrow at this point, Trevor Lawrence will have to, in the next 10 years, make it to a Super Bowl and win one. That's the only way he can be better than Joe Burrow. No. To be better than Joe Burrow, he has to do what Joe Burrow couldn't do in the 2020s, which is win a Super Bowl.
This is what's going to happen. Trevor Lawrence, when everything's settled, is going to have a better winning percentage. That better for Joe Burrow. He's going to have way more playoff appearances than Joe Burrow. So all that is...
He's in a worse division.
Huh?
The AFC South is terrible. He's in the worst division. Somebody has to make it.
Oh, the Bengals are terrible too. That's why they got Joe Burrow. I don't care about the competition because we know what we know about
the
football.
AFC North is tougher than the AFC South, Guru, and we know this. We know this. We know this. We know this.
Okay,
we
man.
know this.
Okay.
Is the AFC South not one of the worst divisions in football, if not the worst division in football?
That whole I don't care for that, bro.
Because what I'm saying is, if the bar is playoff appearances, right? What I'm saying is, if you want to lock yourself into a playoff spot, you have to win your division, right? Joe Burrow in the AFC North is up here. Trevor Lawrence in the AFC South is down here. The AFC South is marginally worse. So the road to a division title in the AFC South for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars is of much less resistance than the road to a division title for the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow in the AFC North. Browns,
so that means I must be doing a good job because that means Trevor Lawrence going to have a better record, right?
That doesn't. You think he could? He could. But what I'm saying is, if we're setting up, what I'm saying is, if we're going to set the bar at Trevor Lawrence is a better QB because he's going to have more playoff appearances. What I'm saying is, playoff appearances, it has a lot to do with the environment you're in, not just how good your quarterback is. We saw the Washington Commanders 2 years ago win 7 games and make it to the playoffs. The division sucked, and someone had to make it.
My last thing I got to say, I got to go back to your guy, Aaron Rodgers, right? He probably played in the worst division in the history of football his whole career.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. The Bears made it to a Super Bowl. The Bears were a Super Bowl team while Aaron Rodgers has been there. The Bears made it to the Super Bowl while Aaron Rodgers was there.
How many times?
One time. The Bears made it to the Super Bowl one time. The Bears had The Bears had multiple playoff appearances, multiple NFC Championship appearances since Aaron Rodgers has been the starter in Green Bay. The Minnesota Vikings have been in the playoffs multiple times. We're just in the NFC Championship game 4 years ago. The Lions, to hell with the Lions. The Lions ain't good. But the Bears and the Vikings have had some moniker of success. It hasn't been from the offensive standpoint. It's been because of their defense. Well, let's not act like the Bears won in the Super Bowl just 15 some odd years ago.
Let me rebuttal that. The Bears went they were so-called good in Aaron Rodgers' first 3 years.
The Bears also had 2 good seasons just 4 years ago.
4 years
ago. The Bears had one of the best defenses in football in 2018. The Bears followed that up with the playoff appearance the year before that.
So you tell me that fluky Mitch Trubisky Bears team, that remember that? So that fluke.
Everything's a fluke. Everything is a fluke, Guru.
I get it.
So the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2017, was that a fluke in 2017? They had the best defense in football too. Was that a fluke?
It was a fluke.
They had the best defense in football. How was that a fluke?
Because did they replicate that?
That doesn't make it a fluke.
Dude, you know what a fluke is?
When Green Bay made it to her,
was the Legion of Boom a fluke? I'm gonna tell you what. I mean, fluke is just happening. I could get fluke, dude.
So the Green Bay Packers making it to the Super Bowl 11 years ago, was that a fluke?
Yeah, because they had never been back again.
What are you talking about?
The Green Bay Packers. When's the last time they've been in the Super Bowl?
So that makes it a fluke?
Yeah.
How?
You know why? Because it just so happened they had Charles Woodson, probably the best defensive player of his generation, to help Aaron Rodgers do what Aaron Rodgers can't do. That's what happened. But guess what? Charles Woodson left. What happened? Aaron Rodgers didn't smell the Super Bowl. Hasn't even smelled the Super Bowl. Man. Come back here. Don't run away now. Come back here. Don't you
My light fell.
Don't you run away. Because we have it today. You got me worked up today, man. You have me worked up.
Okay. So if we're just running down, what we're talking about then, the bar for a fluke now is you make it to one Super Bowl and you don't sniff one again. Yes, that's the bar. Is that the bar we're setting?
No, look.
Is that the bar we're setting?
No, let me tell you what a fluke is. If you make it to one Super Bowl and then you pass another decade and nothing has happened, I call that a fluke.
So So a decade hasn't passed. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl 7 months ago.
Dude, we talking about your era. Now you want to flip it to what happened from last
No.
year. The Bengals
No, what I'm saying is
again, bro, ever again. Like it's over for your lifetime. Like, I know I'm not going to be alive to see the Bengals go to another Super. I know that for sure. Like,
was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl 2 years ago a fluke?
Has Tom Brady been to the Super Bowl more than 2 times?
No. That's not what you said. You said if a team doesn't make it to go to a Super Bowl. Has it been 10 years since the Bengals made it to a Super Bowl? No, it's not going to say it's a fluke.
Wait for 10. My definition of a fluke is, right?
Wait 10 years.
It's a decade between Super Bowl. It's a fluke, dog. It's a one good season.
So the Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year. So that 10-year clock is starting.
Bro,
we're 7 months removed from the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. So how can we all want that as a fluke?
Not going to the Super Bowl ever again, bro.
How do we know that?
How
do we know that?
First of all, they have a terrible coach, a terrible owner, a terrible resources. Everything they do in that organization is terrible. They hit the lottery one time, dude. You don't see multiple lottery winners, dude. Who do you think this is? You know you have Patrick Mahomes in the. Let me tell you what's not a fluke. Patrick Mahomes.
They beat Pat Mahomes twice last year, coming from behind. Twice in their house. They went to Arrowhead twice and beat Patrick Mahomes from behind twice. Twice. 2 times.
Now you could have Joe Burrow. I'll take Patrick Mahomes. Take that. You could have the Bengals. I'll take the Chiefs. You could have that.
I'm not saying Joe Burrow is better than the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying the Bengals are better than the Chiefs. What I'm saying is I think we're being too rash about saying that last season was a fluke just because they've come out of the gate struggling. When the Chiefs went to 2 straight Super Bowls, came out of the gate last season struggling, and we were all just like, oh, it's fine. It's the Chiefs. It's fine. They'll be back. It's fine. Give it some time. We said that for 7 weeks. 7 weeks. They didn't punt the football last season in that game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they almost lost that game. So what we're saying now, we're moving the goalpost now because the Bengals have come out to a slow start, 2 inexcusable losses. I'm not denying it. You cannot. Joe Burrow played the worst game of his life. Not his career, his life. We will never see Joe Burrow play as bad as he played in week 1. Not in the NFL. We didn't see it in college. Not since he was a peewee. Not if he goes to one of them old folk homes out of a football league or whatever. We're never going to see Joe Burrow play as bad as he played in week 1. That's number 1. Number 2, last week against the Cowboys without Dak Prescott is inexcusable, if not even more inexcusable than the loss against the Bills. I get it, but we sat here at this time last season when the Kansas City Chiefs, after spending the entire offseason, restructured their O-line, they came out to a slow start with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce, with all those weapons, and we said, it's okay. Why are the Bengals not afforded that same it's okay? It's only been 2 weeks.
So why?
It's only been 2 weeks.
Burrow is not Patrick Mahomes, and Zach Taylor is not Andy Reid. That's all. And Mike
the
Brown.
Cincinnati Bengals beat that team.
Okay, cool. Hey, no.
Twice.
Okay, look, they could beat them. Who cares?
They beat them to go to the Super Bowl. That matters. It has to matter.
Bro, it happens. This team is going to the damn Super Bowl like it seemed like back-to-back years. Dude, it happened. You think they're supposed to go? You expect the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl every damn year, bro?
I don't. What I'm saying, what I'm saying.
No. Let me finish this. Now. All right, if the freaking Chiefs would have won that freaking second half, that would be 3 straight fucking times going to the Super Bowl. So,
I get it.
Yes, that's insane.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, Guru. Here's the point. The fact of the matter is, we saw this move. You can deny it all you want. I don't care that it's Pat Mahomes. I don't care that it's Andy Reid. The Kansas City Chiefs got blasted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Absolutely blasted off the field. Bad O-line. What they do, they said, hey, we need to fix this O-line. So what they do, they spent the entire offseason fixing the O-line. And what happened? They came out to a slow start. They were 2-4.
Okay.
They were 2-4. Okay. They had a losing record. And we said, okay, the Chiefs will be fine. The Bengals right now, they didn't get blasted, but they lose in the Super Bowl. They say, you know what we need to do? We need to fix this offensive line. It's the first time ever in the Cincinnati Bengals history that they looked at a problem and said, we need to fix it. And they fixed it. And they're having some growing pains. Okay. Why is it now, and this is a straight question, why is it that the Chiefs got off to a slow start last year? We said it was growing pains. This year, it's, the Bengals aren't a good football team. Why are we moving the goalpost? The precedent has already been set.
Let
It's
me
been
tell you
set.
why. The Chiefs already had the resume, dude. Last year, they were going for 3 peats, my friend. Not the first peat, not the first time in France. The last time the Bengals was in the Super Bowl, you weren't even alive yet. You weren't even a sperm.
Neither were you.
No, I was alive.
Were you? Are you that old?
When was it? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, just because I want to make a point, I'm going to say I was alive, all right? Just to make a point. I was closer of being alive than you were. You know what I'm saying? Your parents were only, your dad was not even thinking about you right there. At least for me, my parents were like, you know what? I'm thinking about having a baby. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, they were at least thinking and planning, like, you know what? In a couple of years, I'm going to have a baby. All right? So, yes, I might not have been alive, but I was about to be alive. I was a sperm in my dad's balls. Your ass wasn't, you weren't even that yet. You know, I still was a sperm. I was in the ball sack. But your ass was, you weren't even an egg. You weren't even. So with that said, hey, let's just keep this same energy in 10 weeks. That's what I'm saying. Keep this same
in 10 weeks. I'll be here. Same place.
We gonna mark
same time. I'll bring you back.
In week 12.
I'll bring you back.
Put me back in week 12.
I will. I absolutely will.
Week 12.
Let's do it. Week 12. Let's do it.
Because you know what's gonna happen?
Let's get it. 2.5 months from now. We're here.
In week 12, the Jazz probably gonna be what? 8-3 or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
8-3.
Am I sweating? Did I stutter? Am I? Yes. You repeat what I said. 8-3. You heard me. 8-3. And while your beloved Joe Burrow might be 4-8. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna come back in week 12, and I'm gonna save this. Oh yes, live too. YouTube save it forever. Good. And we're gonna bring this shit back up, and you're gonna sit there and be like, "Damn, dude, this is gonna be your energy." Yeah, man. Your excuse. The Bengals offensive line. Oh, I'm not right. It's 12 weeks. You still didn't give them. Or they still need time. They still need time. Dude, Joe Burrow might not even make it to week 12. The way he's going right now.
What you mean we're not gonna make it? What's gonna happen to him?
The same thing happened to him his rookie year. The way things are going right now, he's getting killed out there, bro.
He's going to be fine. The Bengals will be fine. The Bengals are going to make it to the playoffs. I don't think the Bengals are going back to the Super Bowl. I'm not crazy, but they're going to make it back to the playoffs.
Oh, no, you crazy. No, don't do it. No, I'm not going to let you get away with that one. No, you are crazy. You are crazy.
The Bengals are going to be fine. Now, let's stay in the – no, before we get to that, before we get to Thursday night, let's talk about the Giants. Giants are 2-0. I think if there's any team that we would have had on our bingo card to be 2-0 at this point, the Giants are not that team. They have, I would say, a favorable matchup this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Those in the Cowboys, obviously, who don't have Dak, they have Cooper Rush. Do you like the Giants' chances of finishing out week 3 at home against a division opponent and walking out of MetLife Stadium 3-0? Do you like their chances of doing that?
The Giants going 2-1.
Okay.
They got a lot going on with the Giants right now. At the end of the day, the Giants and Dable, those guys, they don't even want to win more than 4 or 5 games, bro. All right, they're halfway through what they're supposed to win, right? The whole season. So I'm not worried about the Giants and all that. Like they're halfway through what they're gonna win. The Giants might win maybe 4, if they're lucky, maybe 4 more games for the rest of the season.
That's fair. Now, like I said, week 3 kicks off tomorrow night.
Why? Because they don't have a good receiving core?
I mean, they don't. Their receiver core is terrible. Their receiver core is abysmal. But week 3 of the NFL season kicks off tomorrow in Cleveland. Pittsburgh takes on the Cleveland Browns. Who do you have winning? I know your guy G.O.A.T is out there for Cleveland. I know you love yourself some Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and I love him too. He is fantastic. I love watching him play football. Who do you have winning that week 3 matchup in a pivotal AFC North matchup for both teams? Who do you have winning? The Steelers on the road or the Browns?
Man, it's like who's worse? Put it like this: whoever gets 2 points first might win the game. I think this is going to be one of the ugliest games in football. If you're a gambler, if you're a better man, take the under. I don't think it's going to be more than 20 total points scored in this entire game. It's just, I don't know, man. I've been thinking about this before I started talking. I've been watching the film. I honestly don't know because I feel like I really don't know, man. I want to hear your opinions. I really don't know. I'm back off you. I really don't know.
This was a tough one for me. 'Cause I went back and forth. This was one of 5 games I didn't know who to pick this week. I was torn on a lot of different games this week. Mm-hmm. This one was the toughest because when you look at the Steelers, what you see is a really good defense without their best player in T.J. Watt, but still a really good defense as far as what they've been able to do so far through 2 weeks. You see that you have Najee Harris. You see that the wide receiver core is doing something. The offensive line is still a little bit beat down, but it's doing just enough for Najee Harris to be productive. But there's a question about at this point if the offense is on the same page because of what happened last week against the Patriots. On the other side of the ball, you have a team in the Browns who were 2 minutes away from starting the season 2-0. And then they gave up 13 points in a minute, 58 seconds, and they lost the game against the Jets. The Browns are the better team. And so I do think the Browns are going to win because they're the better team. Because they have their best player in Myles Garrett, and the Steelers don't have their best player. And also because this is going to come down to which running back has a better game. This is what it's going to come down to. Because when you look at it from the offensive standpoint, as far as the passing game, Jacoby Brissett's fantastic. I know they have Amari Cooper. I know they have Donovan Peoples-Jones. I know they got David Njoku do the Browns. But from the air attack, to me, is on the same level because,
of course,
the answer is not there at the quarterback position. So it's not much that we can really say as far as it's going to come down to the ground game, and it's going to come down to which defense can keep the opposing running back from doing what they got to do. Here's the thing. The Browns got to stop one guy in Najee Harris. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to stop 2 guys in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And Nick Chubb has been on one this season. Kareem Hunt had a fantastic season week 1. Nick Chubb followed that up with an incredible week 2. They've both been doing good. So I do have the Browns winning because I think the Browns, from a running standpoint on the ground, because I agree with you. This is going to be an ugly game. I agree with you. We're not seeing more than 20 points scored in this game. This is going to be one of the ugliest games of the season because of how physical and how dirty it's going to be. It is going to be played predominantly on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about one of these teams going over 200 yards on the ground because that's what it's going to take. Because the passing game is just not going to do it. Like, unless Jacoby Brissett just wakes up and decides to channel his inner I don't know who and just start slinging the ball all over the yard, and unless Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett can get their act together and start slinging all over the yard, this is going to be a game that's won on the ground. And what that means is, like you like the meat and potatoes. This is a game that's going to be won in the trenches. The Pittsburgh Steelers' offensive line is not as good as the Cleveland Browns' offensive line. The Pittsburgh Steelers running back Najee Harris, as much as I love him, is not as good as Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. So I do have the Browns win this game. Honestly, the score I have is 10-7. This is going to be a nasty game. It's going to be a disgusting game. This is going to be like if you like defensive showcases, this is the game for you. This is not going to be you want to see some offensive explosions. Go watch the Bills and the Dolphins on Sunday. Go watch the Chargers and the Jags on Sunday. If you or the Packers and the Bucks. But if you like to sit down and watch some knock them down, drag out physical defensive football, Thursday Night Football is where you want to be. 8:00 on your couch, primetime, to watch the Browns host the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be 10-7. It's going to be a nasty game, and it's going to be one on the ground. But I do have it was a tough one for me, though. But in the end, I did come to the Browns because of that running game component and because of how prolific the Browns are on the run game.
I think you sold me because when it comes down to a situation like this, man, it's like this is the type of damn game Mike Tomlin just pulled out of his ass. You know what I mean? It's so different. It's like, you're like, man, they're going to Mika Fitzpatrick going to get a pick 6, or they're going to block a punt here. It's going to be some – I don't freaking know, bro. But I do see whoever wins is not going to score more than 13 points. You know, I can see a 13-10. You know, it's definitely going to go under. So, with that said, I'm leaning towards the Browns because they're at home. Just because they're at home, it's a short week. It was a tough game, the Patriots and the Steelers. So
and that's going to be tough on the Steelers to go back. They're going to have 2 knock them down and drag out games because that game against the Patriots was sloppy too.
Yes.
I don't know how they combined for 27 points because they did not look like they were going to go for that in the beginning. That was a sloppy game too. It was 17-10 or something like that. It was a sloppy game for a while until the Patriots kind of just did what they had to do. But no, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. That's without. Yeah, it is 2 sloppy games for the Steelers without T.J. Watt is going to be the difference. I think I have the Browns winning 10-7. This is going to be a disgusting game. It's going to be physical. big hits, chewing the clock, running the ball.
I think
we're not going to see a lot of East and West on this one. It's going to be North and South, up and down the football field, and whoever can move North and South the best is going to win the game. And I got the best.
I believe Stefanski could design better plays than Canada. So, with that said, I suppose it's paying me to talk about this. I'm leaning towards the Browns, man.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have Guru on the show. It's been a hell of a show,
man. It's been I can't wait,
fantastic.
It's to be continued because I can't even see it. I can't wait. I can't wait for week 12, man, because all this energy I receive from you, you know what I'm saying, sweating and shit. Look at you.
Oh yeah.
This is a good one. Because it all started with he's no better than Cam Newton. I mean, you were just getting at me all day today. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you set me up like I'm coming into a trap. But when I saw the topics, I'm like, oh my God, this dude is really trying to go. This is undisputed today because you really was coming at me on GOAT Talk.
For those of you guys that watched and sat through this animation, I appreciate you guys. For those of you guys that are going to listen to this, I apologize for the 30-plus minutes that Guru and I are going to yell in your ears. Turn the volume down. It's good for you if you didn't pick that up. And Guru will be back in week 12. We've bookmarked it. Week 12, Guru will be here so that we can figure out what needs to be figured out as far as the aftermath of this conversation. But it's always a pleasure to have Guru on the show. Guru, let everybody know where they can follow you and find.
Man, like always, man, y'all follow my man Marcus over here. I'm on his show. It's not about me, never about me. I'm just honored to be on his show. So please don't worry about the G to the U to the R to the U. Keep supporting this man. That's why I keep coming to his show, man. And if you just so happen to be like the Bengals and get accidentally run into me while you're watching Marcus, you know what I'm saying? Then yes, you can follow me. But other than that, man, please pay attention to the GOAT himself. He's the Patty Mahomes. He's not the Josh Allen. He's the Patty Mahomes because he knows how to finish the game, dog. That's what I'm saying. Even though I saw his picks he made with the other show last week, that was terrible picks. But I'm not going to talk about it.
It wasn't bad. I went 7-9 with my picks last week. It wasn't a good week.
I'm not going to talk about that. That's the Bengals record. It's going to be by the end of the season. But we will talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Week number 12. But I really appreciate, as always entertaining with this dude right here, man.
It is always a pleasure to have Guru on the show. I had the craziest man in sports come on to recap the craziest week in the NFL so far. And you got the craziest episode we've ever put together here on Go Talk Marcus. So for the G to the U to the R to the U, this is Marcus of Go Talk Marcus signing off. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, follow on all the socials you see below. Leave 5-star ratings and all that good stuff on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And we'll be here tomorrow on Peyton's channel for the rundown with Peyton and Marcus, and then right back here next Wednesday to do it all over again with a new guest as we recap week 3, get ready for week 4. So, like I said again, for Guru of Guru's Film Room, this is Marcus of Go Talk Marcus signing off. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, you guys enjoy the rest of your lives.